Elevate Forward, where we elevate your mindset, we inspire your spirit, and we ignite your leadership journey. My name is Pearl.
And I'm Chibwechungu.
We are the co-founders of Elevate Leadership Services, and we're the hosts of Elevate Pod. The Elevate Pod is dedicated to inspiring and empowering listeners. We focus on minorities and immigrants. We offer tools, resources, and pathways to foster both personal and professional development.
Thank you, Pearl. Today, we are delighted to be interviewing Maureen Stephenson, who will be sharing her insights, her journey, her experiences, and her thoughts on the health and wellness for over 40, which most of us are today. Yeah. You know, your mind is your garden. Your thoughts are your seeds. You can grow flowers or weeds. It's up to you. Imagine waking up each morning feeling energized, strong, and ready to take on the day with enthusiasm. Picture yourself with the vitality to enjoy your favorite activities, the confidence in your body, and the mental clarity to pursue your passions. The truth is, age isn't just a number. What truly counts is how you care for yourself along the way. No matter where you are on your wellness journey, the choices you make today can transform your health and your future. So before we start asking Maureen some questions, I'd like to give you her rich bio that she has shared with us. Maureen Stephenson-Lewis is a breast cancer thriver, certified hormone and wellness coach, closet liberator, and the visionary founder of Fabulous Fun Closet and the vibrant Rebirth method. She is known for helping women reconnect with their bodies, their confidence, and their identity during seasons of profound hormone change. Her wellness journey began long before she ever coached a client. After surviving breast cancer and facing a wave of symptoms no one prepared her for, Maureen found herself in a body that felt unfamiliar. Instead of giving up, she rebuilt herself piece by piece. Movement, nutrition, color, confidence, and compassion became her medicine. That personal rebuilding became the foundation of everything she teaches today. Through her signature event, the Hormone Catwalk, and her transformational programs, Maureen guides women through the emotional and physical changes of their vibrant seasons with clarity, truth, and joy. She is known for using bold colors as a form of healing, reminding women that style can be a form of restoration and visibility can be the form of recovery. Maureen is also the founder of the CWR Fitness Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering the community through movement, health education, and vibrant living. More information can be found at crwfitness.org. Her work lives at the intersection of wellness, identity, and self-expression. She is a powerful voice for women who want to reclaim their brilliance, honor their bodies, and rise into the next chapter of their lives with strength and visibility. And Maureen, what can you add to your bio?
Maybe joy. I would say joy.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
say joy.
All
And
right.
maybe that's what some of my bio, because I guess that's what I found like through all of this. I found profound joy, in my own body. So
Thank you. Thank you. Which we should all do, right?
It's a personal choice.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a personal
yes.
choice.
Mhm. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for such sharing with us such a rich bio. We're privileged to have you here today. Age isn't just about getting older, it's about growing wiser, stronger, and resilient. As we step into our 40s, our 50s, and beyond, many of us start to think differently about what it means to stay healthy and what's vital. This is a time to prioritize ourselves, realign our habits, and unlock new levels of well being. In today's episode, we'll explore how to thrive in this stage of life, how to maintain physical health, foster mental clarity, and cultivate a sense of fulfillment that lasts. I believe that the best years are yet to come. So let's dive in and discover how to make those years truly extraordinary. So, Maureen, what inspired you to focus on health and wellness for women?
For me, in my 40s, I got out. In my 40s, I was thinking about 46. I couldn't get out of bed. Like light and crowd was something that I couldn't deal with, and I was very irritable. Like my body was just irritable, and if I stepped into the room, somebody stepped out. That's how angry my body was. And so I went to my doctor and trying to figure out what's going on with me because I mean nobody prepared me for these changes. And then she talks to me about that my hormones was changing and I was going through perimenopause. I was like, what is perimenopause? I don't know what perimenopause is. That's a foreign word. But backstory, I came from Jamaica and I was working. As an immigrant, you work like 3 or 4 jobs. So I was just hustling and working as a single mom. And I leave one job, I go to the next one. Then on weekend, I have another job. So my life was jobbed out. I have all these jobs because that's what immigrants do. We come here and people expectation of us, and sometimes we have expectation of ourselves. And so that happened. And then she was telling me about these symptoms that, perimenopausal and how I can make hormones from my body. But when I was coming out, she prescribed me Prozac. I don't have anything about anyone who's taking Prozac. Follow your doctor's advice. And I remember as a child, I couldn't take pill. So I was protesting with her, like, man, I can't swallow those pills because my mom used to have to give it to me with milk. And then she'd have to dump it and mix it out. And then I was like, shake. You know what I mean? And she was like, okay, but there's a thing called exercise. And then if you change your diet, your body makes the same serotonin uptake. And the medical terms, and she was giving it to me, the medical terms. And she was like, I can prescribe you happy pills. That's what she called the medicine that she was giving me. Or you could go and do the work. So it was like, ah. So I left her office with the prescription and the thing to get the pill. But I came home and I went to my mailbox to check my mail. And there was a advertisement in my mailbox called Physical Fitness at American River College. And God sometimes have a way of doing things. And so I started to read that. And then I was like, but that's what the doctor was just telling me about, right? And so, long story short, I determined that, man, I'm going to quit one of my jobs so that I could go back to school because that part of me needed me. Like, it really needed my attention. And so I decided that I was going to go to enroll in ARC to the personal fitness course. And then from there, I was in there and I was going and doing my course. And then that year, I just forgot to do my mammogram. And I was like, man, I forgot to do my mammogram. I don't know if sometimes my heart was racing and it was just in my head talking to me about you forget to do your mammogram. So I was like, okay, I'm forget to do my mammogram. So I said, the year is going to finish. I'm going to do my mammogram. So anyway, I went to do my mammogram. Running, that time I was running a mile under 10 minutes, just running and getting fit and eat, learning how to eat and maintain the symptoms for my perimenopause. And then I was at work. I went to work like 3 o'clock and I got a phone call. And then the person on the line says, I recognize it from where I went to do my mammogram. And the person on the other line says, I'm just calling to tell you that your test came back positive. You have breast cancer. And I was like, well, I didn't know what to think or anything. So I think I was in denial. And I can actually say that with full confidence now that I was in denial. Because my shift was from 3 to 11. And so when I was driving on the freeway home, it just hit me like a brick. And I was like, what that stupid woman call me and tell me today? Honestly, I've just been honest. That's what I said to myself. I was like, she just told me that I have breast cancer. And it hit me on the freeway that I could die right there, because it just hit me driving home. Like it, at that point, like it probably, the realization started to sink in that was what was happening to me. And so I came home, and then the next morning I was angry. I was mad. I was angry at the world, and I was angry at myself. I was angry at everybody else, So I called where I did the mammogram. I called the office and asked them if I could come in and speak to the director, and they were like, no, the director can't speak to you because he doesn't see women or he doesn't see patients. And I was like, well, he's gonna have to see me today because there's a woman called me yesterday, and I don't think you guys should give me a message like that over the phone. And then she did not tell me what was wrong with, she just gave me a diagnosis and she was gone off the phone. What kind of institution are you guys running? And so I started to advocate for myself. And that's one thing I tell women all the time. Please, please advocate for yourself. And so they let me finally see the gentleman who went over my test with me and then confirmed with the biopsy in my breast that these little spots was in my breast. And that's how, when I found out that I had hormone positive breast cancer. And so I was saying that our bodies are always working with us before things happen, because I think it was my body telling me with all the craziness that there's a big thing coming down the line. And thankfully to God, I was starting to prepare for it. And so that's what led me here to become a hormone health coach. Really not to speak to any woman, but to help myself. This was a selfish choice. It was literally a selfish choice. It has nothing to do with it. I wanted to help anybody. I first did wanted to help myself. But after I did that and realized the benefits and what I could have achieved out of it, then God just started to put it on my heart. And even today, sometimes I still don't want to do it. Because who am I to talk to women about health? And, especially as immigrants, when we come here and we have to hustle, like this, and expectation is so high of us, it's really a very hard thing to do. So that's a little bit.
Wow. I don't know. I've never had anybody to just give a diagnosis like that on the phone. It's hard, and if you are all by yourself at home,
yeah, that time I was a single mom, and I lived with my daughter was away in college, and I was alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got my diagnosis.
Wow.
But it was And then it all makes sense that my hormones, my cancer was hormone positive breast cancer.
All right. Okay. And now, speaking of hormones, I think there are many people who don't know what that means. Probably what I would like you to do for us is to explain what hormones are and why they are so crucial for our overall health and also our wellness. Because your cancer was associated with hormone, and I think that would be a good thing to explain to the audience as well.
Well, hormones are just chemical reaction messengers that our body receive, and it controls every area in our body. It controls how we eat, it controls how we sleep, it controls our mood, it controls our muscles, it's control, like it's the blueprint that the body gets. So that's basically what I would say about hormones, and you have to listen to them. Over 30, I would say over 30, when your hormone speaks, it's everything that you have to do with your health have to do with hormones, because those hormones are changing, and so it shifts the body in a different way. And if you're not tending to your hormones, um, then I think you're doing your health a disservice.
All right. Thank you. And I think for you, that's what I think when you said when the home you had to change.
Yeah, you definitely. I would say it had made me prioritize more self-care, and so and it had helped me to pull back from being so extra busy, because I think sometimes for me, I can only speak for myself, my busyness was causing me not to focus on health. So we run and we run and we run and we run all the time. And so that's what I come to realize, that health is not the huge thing that we think people think it is. It's just the small changes that we can do. And I think most people think that is so overwhelmed. But it's how you eat, it's how you sleep, it's how you rest, it's how you manage stress. And I would say those big pieces, if you can those big pieces, if you can simplify them, it is like a very simple thing to do.
Thank you for just defining what that means. It's just those little things. Sometimes we think we have to go to the gym, but sometimes it's just walking around the block.
Yeah, it is literally in nature,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be in your backyard, it could be also in your house.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the gym at all times, because most people, if you're here, you're not going to have the capacity or the time to go to the gym. But these little things you can do on your floor, you can do them in your backyard. Stretching don't have to be this big old elaborate thing. It doesn't have to be over the top. It could be with just a little band. It could be when you're taking a shower at nights in the bathroom. It's finding space. It's about chewing your food properly, chewing what is on your plate. Make sure you're chewing your food. Make sure you're getting the rest that the body needs for health and restore. And I always tell my clients that there are different types of rest. Which one are you in need of? There's the physical rest, there's the mental rest, there's the emotional rest, there's the financial rest. So everybody's not in need of the same rest all the time. Rest is not that I'm getting enough sleep. Why are you not getting enough sleep? So it's those little pieces that I come to learn that is so vital for our care.
Excellent.
Can I drink some water?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you did mention earlier that sometimes you don't want to do it. So it's like an ongoing journey. So this question might help someone that's out there that's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share some strategies that help you stay motivated and consistent with your wellness routine?
Well, for me, I really don't think I have a choice. And hear me out. Because my symptoms are so severe that if I literally want a quality of life, I have to do it. Like the other choices, it's going to leave me in bed. It's going to leave me in bed. It's going to leave me defeated. So I don't think for me really that I have a choice, because every morning my body dictate my choice. It dictate to me, like I always say, like when you're over 30, your body talks to you. And sometimes for me it talks loud, right? So if I don't do these things, if I don't do them, then I am going to suffer the consequences of not doing them. Um, so everybody is different, and everybody's body is also different. So always say bio individual. Make sure that you are looking at your body for what you are looking at. You, not somebody else's body, not somebody else what they do, but make sure also that you're honest with yourself. And I think that's one thing as women, I think it's hard to be honest with ourselves, because we are nature born innate. We do things. We're just born like we're wired, you know. We just do things, and it's hard to pull back, especially when it's for ourselves. We will do it for other people, but we can't do it for ourselves. So for me, I would say small acts of kindness to yourself. First of all, look in the mirror and look at the person in there. Just don't look. Look at the person in the mirror. What do you want from your person? From you? For me, when I looked in the mirror, I want to see a vibrant person. It, and vibrant means despite the symptoms. Not that I don't have them, but I want to see a vibrant person. So for me, I want to see a person that whatever comes out of my mouth, um, I talk back to myself. You know, it's hard because the physical culture would say you have bat wings under your arms and you have this under your arms. And I'm like, no, God didn't make me a bat. He made me a human being. So that doesn't define me. What defined me is what am I seeing? Yes, my body has changed. Yes, I have wrinkles. Yes, I have this. But how I speak to myself, that's the first thing. And I now how I nourish myself. So I would say sleep, rest, rest, restore. That's where the most of the benefit lies. Um, Dieting in terms of food is a personal choice. Um, you can either eat for taste, or you can eat for disease, or you can either eat against disease. And it's totally a choice that you have to make for yourself. What does that choice look like for you? For me, it looks like food that don't weigh me down, because the quality of your food can either leave you weighing down or you can get up. And so for me is to choose those food to add in daily, like small bits. For me it's like making my garden and go out there. And sometimes when the world gets too heavy, I just sit and look at the plants grow and remind myself that it is a process. It's not instant, because especially here everything's changed so fast. And so for me, I would go into my garden and look at the plants and then like, okay, God, so this is so that you gotta plant the seed, then the seed has to come up. Then you gotta water it, then you see the buds, then after you started to see fruits, right? So it's those little things. It's to remember to have some sunlight if there's sunlight, to bring sunlight into your thing, to drink more water. So those are the little things so that your blood, you don't have dry blood. You know what I mean? Your the cells are nourished. Most of us parts are made up of water. And so you have water in your, you know, those things you're nourishing. Just feed those cells. So it now become a cellular thing instead of a physical thing, because hormones are cellular. They're in, you can't see them, so you have to find ways of feeding them. So those are some little things that it's for me. It's taking a bath, having a my meditation with my bath, having my yoga mat out and lie down sometimes when the world gets too heavy, you know, light some candle and remember that there's a light in me that I wanted to see. And, you know, just that. So for me, it's not the big old things, it's the little things.
Or soak yourself in the tub and just have the muscle relaxation.
Yeah. Now that's one of the things. The other day I redo my tub because that's my hub.
Yeah.
That's one place I would tell women you can go in, shut the door, put a sign on it and says if you don't want to scream, don't come in here because you might see what you don't want to see. And I lock out the world. And I go in there and I take my phone with my meditation and I have a luxurious bath. And by then, I'm too tired to even think about anybody else. I crawl myself into bed and I get my magnesium and go to bed, you know?
Wonderful.
To pull away from the lights, the blue lights at night that keep us up, and to add in things for melatonin is to look at my cortisol. Do I have high cortisol? What rest and digest? So those little things it make my bone broth because now I have loud bones that crack and mitigate and talk voice and sing language that I don't know. And I'm like, which language are you speaking today? Can you speak English? I only speak English. And so I have to decode that and make sure that I'm having deep bone broth to nourish those bones and to nourish my skin so that my it doesn't dry out because what comes with menopause, post-menopause, it's dry skin and your skin started to get thin, you know. So it's those little things for me.
Yeah.
Well, I like to
It's
call them little things that
It's the little things that become big things, you know.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
and I think every one of us can do them, but the thing is that we don't have the time. And I think
Yeah.
one thing that robs us of our health is the time. But when sickness come, everybody finds time for you. And I'm like, why is this backwards? We're supposed to find time for each other before we get sick.
Oh,
And so, and then everybody comes with their little apology. And, you know, when I got sick, I didn't want anybody to feel sorry for me. Like, I don't like that. So, and some people thrive on that. So it depends on what the person it wants for their own lives. So I would say it's an individual choice, but
yeah.
yeah.
You know, I think when what what actually resonates with me from what all the things you've said is that we really need to tend to our own gardens,
Hmm.
and our own gardens is ourselves.
Yeah.
I think most of us are very busy running around and making a dollar here and there. And in the process, actually, when we come home, we either go to McDonald's or somewhere else and not focus on actually health eating, and which impacts mostly our lives. As I think you mentioned that in your little things that we should all do.
I don't
I
know if
think
we should all do them. I just say the little things
no,
that I
I think it's to be honest. To me, when I say we should all do, I include myself because our health is very important, and that it's the last thing that we take care of
it
in
is.
our busy moments.
It is. Like when I got my diagnosis, I asked myself like a really crucial question. And the question I asked myself, like, if in 2013 I would die from having breast cancer, would I have lived for myself? And the answer to that point, and the answer would be no. You live for everybody else, and you live for everybody commend, and you live for everybody. And it just came to me that I have to change my own life. Like I can't live my whole life just for my daughter. My I didn't have a husband then. I found him through cancer in my journey with breast cancer.
So,
And I I just changed. I determined that I was gonna be the most sexiest person to myself. I was gonna be the most desirable person to myself. And I wanted my eulogy to be truthful. Because so many people live other people's life and their eulogy doesn't equate them. And I was like, I have to change. I because I have to get the older you get and I get, the more I'm finding my authentic self. I'm getting closer to my authentic self. I'm reverting back to who I am, like who I am and who I belong to, which is the creator God, but who God made me to be. And so so those things make me understand that for my health is not a negotiable thing, and sometimes we have to learn these hard lessons. And sometimes you can't tell people, those who doesn't learn these hard lessons, that everybody has to come home to themselves in different ways. And so I said, on my journey, I would say I learned compassion, and I would talk to women about compassion, you know? Because one of the things, when everybody, if I hand my person a card, they would start it to get, I got a big ass, and they would, can't breathe and hold in their belly. And I'm like, girl, don't give me that power. I'm not Jesus. Why are you doing that to yourself? And so I found myself starting to teach women not really about health, but to respect themselves, to respect the words that they usually speak to themselves, because that is detrimental to you if you don't understand who you are and who you are. Because if God said so, He really said so. It's not any. You're not. There's nothing wrong with you in terms of how physically you look. How you feel is a different thing. So you want your feeling to outmatch how you look. And so for me, when I get more healthier in terms of how I talk to myself, how I eat, everything else became easier because I know who I am. And so I don't have to fight her again. And so my eating became improved. My well-being became improved. I can literally say, no, I don't have the time today. No, no, husband, no. This is Maureen's day with the girls, and I'm not apologizing for that. Go get something else to eat, or I made it before I go. But these things, we need each other. We need community. We need all of these things. So, yeah, those are some little things I would say I found along the way.
You have addressed like most of the questions you had. It's like you've poured them into this one package of answers that you have. I think you've talked about the role of being mindful of who we are. But
Yeah.
maybe you can just tell us about one success story that you've had in your practice about wellness that today actually makes you feel, as much as I take care of me, I've been able to convey or maybe practice it and sort of do it for somebody else as
Oh,
well.
so I
I know we talked more about you, but I want to.
I do I do woman empowerment, right?
Uh-huh.
So most women, I think, after a certain age is I call it the most feared piece of garments on earth. Like they fear getting into a bathing suit, a bad bathing suit. So I'm known for throwing all these party and have women come out, and we just like, let us not fear the bathing suit again. Let us wear them. And so I've been able to do that for many of my clients, to help them to not being afraid of clothes anymore, but to embrace their body. And there's so many successful stories that I could share. I remember we went to this conference and I met this lady, and she was like really, really shy. And then I was like, after a while, I went and talked to her, and I was like, I was like you, and somehow God sent me over here to talk to you. And she was like, I'm going through this, and she tells me her thing. Anyway, fast forward to then she did my program, and I invite her in the kitchen here, and I invite her in my garden, and she picked the thing, and we come in and we cook, and we shared, and I went through a 6 months program with her. She was able to not only lose weight, but she was able to start to understand her body. She was able to like start speaking to herself better. Um, now, her daughter and her was at fighting heads. Now her daughter and her moved in because I was able to coach her healthy coaching and how to set boundaries. And so now she had her grandbaby, and her daughter and her just moved in a couple of days ago. She called me like, "Can you believe that's when I start your program? I didn't do it. And now my daughter had invited me to live with her. And now we can, we can put our monies together." And I was like, "Hey, look who's talking." But because I think sometimes when we start treating ourselves better, and sometimes we think those boundaries are for, they won't understand, but they understand when you set boundaries, and they understand that those boundaries mean that I can love you better and we can get along together better. But yeah, so I had successful stories like that. And I had success story like that woman 50 just walk around, hone their bathing suit, hone their bodies, talked about how they were able to overcome, that bathing suit thing, and not to look at their body as this negative, but to put their body in a different light. So I do that type of work too. And so I got a lot of success there and help women to own their bodies. And before you even owned your eating habits, because I can tell you to eat kale all along and do all of this stuff, right? But if you don't love yourself, it has nothing to do with you. You could be size 2, you could be size whatever. If you don't love yourself, if you don't love who is looking back at you, how are you going to nourish her? So, nourishment starts for me like owning who you are. And then I think it gets easier along the way.
All right. I think we are just hinging in maybe a few minutes before we end. So, Pearl, what question do you have for to follow up on that? Nourishing yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Could sit and listen to Maureen all day. Think, following the little things that are just so meaningful, so significant for our times right now. I would just like if you could share, there might be someone out there that is wondering, how do I reach her? You've shared a success story and you have a lot mentioned. So just in case someone wants to reach you, how do they know when to seek help, when to find a wellness coach? And also just if you could share even 1 or 2 steps that they can take or start implementing today to enhance their health.
So I am at CWRFitness.org. If you go there, you can find me. We do a lot of outreach in the community, and so they can find all that information there. I am on Facebook as Maureen Stephenson-Lewis. I have a inner circle now at Maureen Stephenson Inner Circle group. So if you send me a DM or a message that you want to join the group, we can put you in the group. The group is literally what we talked about, hormones and how to feed those hormones. Do recipes and stuff in there. I also host a table, which is called the Table of Six, where we have 6 women come and they cook with me, and we talked about the stuff that other people don't talk about in terms of hormone, cortisol, rest. We have a 1 hour where we rest and do mindful meditation and have women. So I do that every month. So my next one is the 31st, which is next Saturday.
Yes.
6 women is gonna come here, and we walk slow and we nourish the body. Once you get in here, we turn off the lights and the running is over. We said leave everything until you go out the door again. But here is to take care of mind, body, and soul. So I does that, and I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm trying to get to Insta. I'm on Instagram too, but not as much as I'm on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook, or if you Google me, you can find me there also. And I would say the first step I would say to the women who are listening is to, maybe decode busyness, because stress kills. And so if you can decode what busyness means to you and what health mean to you, then I think, and then be honest with yourself, I think honesty is one of the things too, because sometimes we feel that sometimes we know before we go to the doctor what is happening to us because it's our body. And I would say be still enough to listen to your body. Honestly, if you're over 30, your body is going to speak to you. Listen. Just don't listen. Take action and get into a quiet place. Stillness. Stillness can reveal a lot. And I think if you can face yourself to be still, then you can face anything that comes along with you. Remember that it's a journey. It's not instantaneous. You didn't get here. All those bad habits were formed over time. It will. I always tell my clients it takes me 46 years to started to take care of myself and understand myself, and it's still taking me. I'm at 56 now, and it's still here today. There's a different side of me showed up because every year the expert says we grow a new. Every 7 years we grow a new body. So just remember to feed the body that you're in. Sometimes we want to feed a 20-year-old body when we're in a 56-year-old body, and that's not going to work. Like,
Wow.
That's what
Wow.
I would say. Like every stage comes with a different body, so you got to honor that body and feed it. Don't let the body that you want let you neglect the body that you have. So many people want the thinner body and they neglect the body that is present. Be present with yourself. I would say that's the start.
Wow. What a great ending. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you. You really closed it very well. Let's be present because the future, we cannot determine it, but we have to
yeah,
first take care of who we are today
yeah.
and
The
then we
future,
can reshape.
yeah, the future is always going to be here,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
present is what dictates if you are going to go into the future, not the other
It's
way around.
perfect. What a great ending.
That's what I would.
Maureen. Wow.
Thank you
I
guys for the
think I need to visit you. This is just the beginning. I think we haven't even touched the, you
I
know,
know. We
yeah.
haven't touched on the cortisol. We haven't touched on insulin. We haven't even touched.
No, we haven't touched on anything. So we have, this is phase one. We still have phase two and others. I
I
think,
know this is just
yeah.
conversational. We haven't even talked about any of the hormones.
No, we haven't. We haven't. But you know what? I think for us, this is just the beginning. And I think our audience, they've gotten what needs to jumpstart them.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
think what we all need. Pardon?
I said hopefully I help. Because
You did. You
um,
did. You
yeah,
did.
it's not what you eat first. It's how you looked at your life first, so you can add in what needs to add in.
Yes. And I think when you say that, for us, we say you have added because you started with a story which is very impactful. What
Mhm.
made you change? And then what has made you change has led you to helping others as you continue to sort of help yourself as well. So
Yeah,
you have done a magnificent job, and we are so happy that we had you. Unfortunately, because of time, I wish we could continue to talk about this.
I
We
know.
have to go to the closing, but at least we'll have you another time. So we'll call this phase one. And at a later time, when we can call you, then we can go into the insulins and all those things that you do. And maybe we can even do it live where we can come to your home and you show us what you do so that
I
we
would
can
love
record it
that.
well.
You could book one of the table and we could do it like that.
Okay,
'Cause,
then I think that will be good. At what I'll stay with you, and then we can talk about it such that it's not too long a time, and put it in there so that people can see what you do, which is a continuation of this podcast.
thank you.
All
All
right.
right.
With that said, I would say it's never too late to be
Never.
what you might have been. George Eliot says that, and that's what exactly Maureen said. So let's embrace who we are to become what we want to be. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that aging gracefully is not about avoiding the inevitable. but welcoming it with wisdom and intention. Every small step you take, as you heard from Maureen, will take you towards your better health, better habits, and a more positive outlook of yourself. It will also add up to a life of vitality and fulfillment. Remember, your best years are still ahead of you, as she said. We can pave the future if we can take care of the present. You can be fulfilled with opportunities to learn, to grow, and to thrive if you take good care of yourself. Again, thank you so much, Maureen, for giving us so much information.
Thank you.
Yeah, because what you told us is we need to take care of who we are. We need to take care of ourselves before we can take care of anything we do, we eat. We need to love ourselves. And if we do, then we'll do what is good for us. So to our audience, I hope the message that was being brought to you will continue to stay with you. And we hope you can continue to be proactive. You can continue to stay vibrant. You can continue to embrace and be credible, be unique, and be the person you want to become in the future. Until next time, would like to just say thank you to Maureen. For you, keep shining and keep taking care of yourself.
Thank you guys for the privilege of your time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we thank you. As Jim Rohn said, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. As we bring this episode to a close, I want to leave you with this. Wellness is a continuous journey, as we have heard. It's not a destination. Every choice you make, whether it's moving your body, nourishing your mind, or nurturing your spirit, it contributes to your overall vitality. So celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and don't be discouraged by setbacks. Thank you for tuning in to Elevate Pod. Remember to stay committed, stay inspired, and most of all, stay healthy. We hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us on this journey to elevate and inspire. Until next time, be with purpose and with passion. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you, Maureen.